I believe. All right. You guys ready for the intro that I came up with for this week?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Fight Net Radio would like to present Guns N' Roses doing the national anthem.
Oh, we got a flag that it seems to be. Reminds me we live in the land of the free. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Leading Andrew Love, Shane Gill, and Paragon, Lindsay, Axel Rose doing the national anthem. This show is about boxing and my six match team. We hope you enjoy it. If it's your first time listening, go to boxing.io. There you can find only news my own creation. Everything else about. We will, of course, be using Boxing Theme for our news stories. And so please enjoy that. I am joined by two of the very best reporters in the business who are more passionate about boxing than I ever will be. Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan. We'll start this week in reverse order. Miguel Antonio Barragan, how are you in sunny Las Vegas?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just got done. Well, not just got done, but a couple of hours ago, got over with work. Monday is in the book. It's starting to cool down here. Finally, it's about damn time because it's just now starting to cool down. We're already in early December, and I'm barely beginning to feel the cool. So I'm glad that we're getting colder here because I hate the hot weather.
Well, there you go. Andrew Labouche is our correspondent in the Bay Area. He is the longest standing member, producer of the show. He's the guy who writes all these really racist and offensive jokes. I try to stop him. He just doesn't listen. How are you today, Andrew?
Doing good, Lee.
What's the name of your daughter's presentation?
Oh, Les Mis. It's from that.
Les Mis. It's Les Mis.
Les Mis. Yep, there it is. Got it.
If this is your first time listening and you are wondering what the hell's going on, Andrew and I both have 17-year-olds, and both of our daughters are in color guard. And if you don't know shit about color guard, let me hip you up. That means our daughters are nerds in literally the most sub-tiered culture on the planet. They're not in band. They're not in cheerleading. They're literally in a group of people that barely gets water at events.
What are you talking about?
Are you telling me that the flag team gets treated better in the Bay Area than they do down here in San Diego?
Well, they get better. Yeah, they get water at the damn events. I know that.
No, they get water. All right, I'm not being fair to because my ex-wife is currently one of the flag moms, right? I'm sure your wife has done the deed at least once.
Yes,
of being the flag mom, and the flag mom basically makes sure that the girls are hydrated. So yeah, but we're going into the fall season, Andrew. It's time for Fall Guard. Are you excited for the indoor presentations?
That's what it is. That's the one I'm giving you. So
okay.
That's what I got.
So we still don't know what they were doing.
Pixar.
What was the
last one was
show?
Pixar? Remember?
Pixar.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now it's Les Mis. So my daughter's school is too cheap to retool anything they're doing, so they're going to use the same costumes and put a spin on whatever the hell it is that forgive me for saying this because it might get some hate mail. I'll check with sensitivity right now. The way too gay flag coach at my daughter's school. And when I say gay, I don't mean like kids talking about don't be a fag kind of thing. I mean, dick sucking, get the cum off your mouth.
Jeez.
Why aren't you in San Francisco?
They're kids.
Really? You're telling me your daughter's coach is not gay? What's going on in the world?
Hey, yeah, it was a coach. I thought you were talking about the damn kids. I'm like, Lee,
no, we had a gay kid on our team last year. He was a fat kid, and he was gay as a $2 bill.
Good.
I guess you have to say $3 bill since we had a $2 bill once, right? So there you go. Our producer is Sam Navajero in Australia. Big shout out to Sam. Go ahead, Andrew.
I just sent you guys a text. Tell me when you receive it and you've looked at it. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay. For this week's show, I have been working on my Australian It's hilarious. I've been working on my Australian for our producer, Sam Navajero. So I'm going to try it out this week for some of our stories. So because I've learned Australian, if I throw it out there, I don't want anybody to be thrown out and go, hey, when did they get an Australian on the show? I thought that dude was like from East LA. I am living currently in San Diego. I've escaped LA, but I've learned Australian, Miguel. Would you like to hear some of it? I've tried it out.
I'm curious. Yes, I'm intrigued now.
Ready? All right. Yeah. 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 There you go. Thank you. Be here all week. Tip your waitresses. This show is about boxing and not just Cambosos suck up. Even though Cambosos has been on the tour of visiting all the camps in the lightweight division. Jesus Christ, he's been coast to coast. He was at a Triller event. He's been in Vegas. He's everywhere. He's a man about town for the last week.
Did you get my text yet, Lee? Look at your phone.
Yes.
There's a story
all right.
to it.
Breaking news. And it is Gervonta Davis. People risk their lives to entertain you, and you're still stealing the fight. Isn't that the one you sent?
No, I sent you a
You
photo.
sent 2 of them.
You haven't got the photo yet?
The picture?
Yes.
The hand-drawn picture.
Yes.
What am I looking at?
Yes. All right. So this week I found this picture, and I was like, oh, shit. What does that picture look like to you?
I don't know. I just showed it to the camera on my end. It looks like a kid walking with razors on his feet and spiked hair.
Yeah, well, it was the red that got me a little nervous, you guys.
Well,
was
you
like,
think with
why
the
is he-
shooting going on recently where the
what if
parents...
it's a scarf? It could be a scarf. I don't know.
He's not shooting.
What
did Junior do?
It's my
Just
6-year-old.
tell me what Junior did.
No, it's my 6-year-old Giovanni.
Okay.
And I was like, babe, did you see this photo that he drew? And she was like, oh, what? I was like, I don't know, but we need to talk to him because if the teachers see that, it's gonna be a problem. He can't. I don't know what's going on. I said, Gio, what did you do here? He goes, oh, what, Dad? I said, what'd you draw? He goes, oh, that's Sonic the Hedgehog when he goes Sonic Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
I said, so what's this? Yeah, it's his cape. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
cape.
Jesus.
I totally get
He's
it.
not cutting.
There was
throats.
a logical explanation.
I thought
the whole time.
Yes.
It's
I said,
very
go to school.
logical, actually. I appreciate
they
it.
watch
And
them.
considering that parents have gone to jail now for kids making drawings and being told to do. Like, first of all, look, Andrew, if somebody called you up and you went to school and Gio made a painting of kids being shot down, I'm pretty sure that both you and your wife are smart enough to go, yeah, we'll take the kid home and get him some counseling immediately. That seems pretty fucked up to me.
Yeah, I know. They're like, hey, they're all.
They wouldn't take the kid. They wouldn't take the goddamn kid.
He's on your time until 3 p.m.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel, you don't have children yet, so I'm going to give you a hypothetical. I imagine they'll happen in your future. You're summoned to the school. You're divorced, of course, at this point, because you'll be just like me. Well, you got a 50-50. Andrew's a good example, and I'm not.
No, hold on, before people start hitting the off button. Not funny. I shouldn't be this. We're numb to this.
I'm not being funny. I'm being like for the parents
No, I
out there.
kind of laughed right now. I shouldn't have laughed. It's not.
It's. I'll tell you why it's funny.
Not fun.
Anybody who's a parent that has their shit together would have went, yeah, that's fucked up. I'll get my kid into goddamn counseling immediately.
No, the parents are in trouble. The parents,
yes,
Miguel,
they should be.
This young man was looking up ammunition in his classroom, and he got caught. And they told the mom. Then they find a text from his mother to the son saying, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. Don't get caught."
Oh,
it's real bad. And I know she might just be talking about looking up the ammunition in class or something. I'm sure she's not talking about what this young man went on to do the next morning, but terrible parenting decisions on their behalf. It's not a funny situation. Sorry, Lee, but no,
it's all right. Let me translate it for our. Hold on, I'm gonna make it funny.
Bring it full circle.
I'm gonna bring it full circle.
When I seen what
go ahead. No, you go ahead. You got it.
Oh,
I see where you're going.
When I seen what Giovanni drew, it did make me nervous, right? Because this is something that they always say to look out for. And what I seen at first was a darn stick figure with looked like blood coming from the throat. Christina's like, it's a shirt. I'm like, it's not a shirt. There's arms underneath it. Like, he didn't take the redness anywhere else. They said it's just coming from the throat area. Oh no, this is terrible. I gotta talk to him. Then it's Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Boom. I was like, I love this kid.
completely see it once he says it.
Just be you.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it full circle and make it funny. It might be a little soon, but I'm gonna do it because that's my job. I'm gonna translate it into Australian. Yeah. There you go. The show is, see, it's funny that way. I'm not
Wait until
laughing
you're
at
a
the event.
parent,
We
Miguel.
both have high school kids.
I am not
Look,
looking
you
for
and
it.
Andrew and I both live in a world that if that shit happened at our school, we'd go in like Spider-Man and drag our daughters out of the school. This isn't even like a debate. I could see Andrew crashing
Yeah.
through the school in his truck looking for his daughter like a madman. I would do the
Yeah.
same. I'd probably be a little less forward like Andrew. But Miguel,
You know
don't
that- you
have
know-
kids. Do you think they
You
should
know
go
they
to
never
jail?
bring.
Well,
Go
I'm
ahead.
interested. No. Miguel,
Yes.
you get like as a non-parent, like that there was a drop of the ball here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of
Okay,
it's pretty
just
obvious. Like, at
checking.
least,
I
at
thought
least
me and
put the
Andrew
foot
were
down a little
just
bit.
crazy about the whole thing.
No,
Hey,
no.
hey, you know there's hella parents that break that rule too, that they're not reported on the news. I do not believe everyone stays behind that line when there's an active shooter in the school. There's like,
fuck
yeah, there's
no,
like
there's-
six.
Look, they
there's
had
6
one where
dads in
somebody
there
was out
right now.
front
Yeah.
and
They
there was
They're
a
all
guy
pulling up
in
their
they
phones
broke
front
and
through
shit.
the
of my
back
daughter's
fence.
school. This is a true story. My daughter actually had a lockdown because there was somebody in front of the school, right after one of the shootings. My ex-wife wouldn't tell me because she was convinced that I would flip the hell out. And rightfully so, I would have. I wouldn't have cared. I would have taken the guy out in front of the school out. I mean, that would have been my first instinct. Shoot him. Well, he's just some guy. I don't fucking shoot him. I digress. I
We've
like
gotten
the
so far off.
FightNet Radio is topical. FightNet Radio is topical. And again, for our Australian listener, all one of you, yeah. There you go. Moving forward, this show is about boxing. Go to boxingtonight.io. You can follow me. You can follow Miguel on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, as well as the show itself. Our big account is, of course, on Facebook, where Andrew posts religiously. You can catch the latest episode in audio. You can catch the latest fight schedule, and down below, the latest episode in video. If you're watching this as a video, go listen to the audio. No, I don't do anything differently. That would require work. However, I think the video is sometimes more fun than the audio, depending on my mood. I don't know. But whatever the case, we've got a week's worth of news to give you, some fights to review, and we want to give it to you. Today we'll be using Boxing Scene. Why? Because our Boxing News aggregate refuses to have Fight News or Boxing Scene on it, or ESPN for that matter, which is just hilarious to me that I wrote this algorithm. So if you want to see local news throughout the world, actually, that has nothing to do with a boxing website and what's getting reported to casual fans, go to boxingtonight.io. More importantly, up to date is our boxing schedule, as is all of our episodes. All right, business out of the way, local and current events out of the way. My attempt at a joke about being Australian, yeah, out of the way. We do talk boxing, and let's jump back in where we left off last week. And where we left off last week was De La Hoya wanting to return to boxing. He's going to start training again in January. The fact that there's a press, before I even read the story, is anyone surprised that this jackoff either did, I'm hoping it's not an interview. Yeah, it's an interview to TMZ. This jackoff's announcing when he's going to go train, like that there is a group of individuals waiting to find out. I don't even care about the rest of the story. Let's just take this from Oscar's brain, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. We've been trying to figure out him for quite a while. So I start with you, Miguel. Are you surprised that he's announcing the date that he will go train? It's
No,
crazy when you say it like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, can you be any more of an attention whore than that? Like it's like, hey guys, I'm gonna step into the ring. Oh wait, when? Well, first I'm gonna go back to the gym on this date. Like no, we don't give a shit about that. We want to know when you're gonna be in the ring. But yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised really. I mean, the dude's been in the spotlight since he was freaking a teenager, so can't say I'm surprised.
Andrew, are you shocked that this, as Miguel put it, whore? I did not say it. Our sensitivity expert said it. I agree that he is a whore.
Attention whore.
Attention.
That's
A
what I meant.
whore's a whore. You're just putting a different label on it, all right? He just doesn't do anything fun as a whore, okay?
I am not shocked that he's announcing his workout, his comeback workouts. I am shocked that DAZN today put on their social media feed, it was 13 years ago today that Manny Pacquiao whooped the shit out of Oscar De La Hoya.
And sent him off into
They had nothing to do with that fight. They're not even around. It's almost like they went out of their way to make this little collage of fight pics and put this out there.
Is it the anniversary of it's an anniversary of the date? Is today the day, or is there
that's 14 minutes ago. DAZN put out 13 years ago, Pacquiao moved up to welterweight and upset Oscar De La Hoya, the king. Crown.
Dropped weight, got paid, as I so blatantly put it. He dropped weight or gained weight to get paid so many times it was ridiculous. Well, there you go, Oscar.
That one was dropped. He dropped weight on that one. He went from 154
to get paid on
this
one. Then he gained weight for Bernard, right?
Yeah.
What a fiasco.
It was, but you got to always remember though, Oscar has a pretty rough patch of the Trinidad controversial decision followed up with the Sugar Shane Mosley controversial decision.
Listen, bro, I won all of those fights, bro. Listen, bro.
He has an argument. He really does have an argument.
Listen, bro, I won those fights, bro. Mario!
It was almost like HBO knew Don King wasn't coming back. Him and Trinidad were gone. They weren't doing the rematch. They had already denied it. And they kind of tried to fill the void with the other LA fighter that was undefeated lightweight, multiple title defenses. And it was a great fight. It didn't build up to what HBO thought it was going to be, but it was a great fight. But Oscar has back-to-back controversial decisions where he kind of gave up on boxing too. Vegas was not nice to Oscar in his career. Not like it's been to other fighters.
I'm going to translate it for our producer, Sam Navajero. Yeah.
Especially Trinidad. I watched.
I don't even want to segue back into my Oscar voice. It's just too funny already. The fact.
The shit out of
how is this guy still getting time with us? That's what I want to know. What has he done? How is Oscar De La Hoya still in the news? He doesn't have any fighters left. Schaefer's taken all the B-level talent away from everyone with his new company. He's not one of the big three relevant organizations anymore. I mean, and the one guy he's got who's halfway decent, Mikey Garcia, doesn't want to fight at all and just, I'll fight that. He just keeps saying he wants to fight guys and challenge them and not
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan,
yeah.
Mikey, whatever. You know what they say? All Garcias look the same. Hold on, let me check with Miguel.
They're related somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah, they have to be. The bloodline had to have been the same at some point.
At some point. I mean, as much as I don't want to admit that there's a Hanish running around Florida who chops people up and has Rottweilers and sells meth, I'm going to take a wild guess that we're somehow related. Going to take a guess. That bloodline is thin.
That was that movie Columbia, huh? She's all eat.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. don't need no rematch. My mistake with leaving my son at 135 for too long. So, the new hypothesis in Camp Tio Leo, that's a joke for me here in San Diego since we have a really shitty Mexican chain called Tio Leo.
Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
You didn't let me or Miguel answer your question. You asked us if you thought Oscar's time was up, and then you didn't let us answer.
Oh, forgive me. Let us return now. What, bro? Tell me how I'm relevant, bro.
I was going to just say, you know what? He hasn't tested it for 13 years, right? So we don't really know. I know for a fact. Wait, I can tell you.
Mario, I'm relevant, right?
Yeah, Miguel, you're right. If I had to bet, he's dead in the water. Oscar, there's no market for him any longer. But he's still going on. He hasn't made a comeback in 13 years. So yeah, we don't know what his market is today. I don't think it's good, but he gets this one fight. He'll either be Mike Tyson or he'll be Evander Holyfield. We'll see.
Yeah, with the multiple
Miguel?
comebacks. No, I get it. I feel like his time is done. It is done. I mean, I rather he took I guess he's going at it a slightly different way than a lot of other fighters. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard doing the multiple comebacks, fucking Roberto Duran and shit like that. After a while, the comebacks get a little watered down. You know, it's like
I'm sure we can find him his own Donald Lalonde in life.
Probably, it's the Black Sabbath.
Did I go
Fireball
deep cut
contest.
boxing? I've been told not to do that by our
the
producer.
Canadian
Like I know
Lalonde.
boxing history.
You can't do that. You can't do that
I'm
around
sorry.
here.
It was bad. I was
Okay.
pretending I knew about boxing again. I don't know anything about boxing.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on me.
But his time is done. Yes, like I realize his time is done. I think it is done, but it is as Andrew mentioned. This is his one shot. This is his first and only comeback. So maybe there's some slight interest, like oh shit, his comebacks aren't watered down like fucking Black Sabbath or something. It's like all right, cool. It's gonna be one of those one and only type of comebacks. But even still, I think his time is done.
It's like seeing Ozzy, but it's Ozzy now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look, it's Ozzy now
Mm-hmm.
doing old Ozzy.
Yeah,
It's not the same. Ozzy. It's kind of sad. Shaman. That would be great if he keeps doing this into his old age, like Chavez and everyone else, and he keeps wanting to do like past champion fights with like old people. If they would die in the ring, I'd be way more interested in it. I mean, if there was an actual, Shannon Briggs is working on getting himself killed. I mean, he's the oldest dude in the room who's trying that routine with kind of guys that might actually, there's a real chance he could get hurt doing what he's doing. He keeps challenging real heavyweights. That's bad. That's bad. He looks old.
He looks old. He's been in the hospital already for bleeding of the brain, I believe. Like, wasn't he put in a coma with the Klitschko fight?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or was he just
and Oscar with the amount of
it wasn't a good night for him. I know in that Klitschko.
Well, with Oscar's case, the alleged cocaine use, alleged drunkenness, the alleged plungers up the ass. I mean, he can't be running well as like a machine.
Hey,
he's probably pretty regular with the girls plumbing his ass out as much as he does. He likes to be pegged. Allegedly likes to be pegged.
What's watered down on Oscar are his comeback rumors. He's been doing numerous times and he never gets past the workouts. Look, they've been saying for a while the guy had a bad back. I know I've said it many times on Fight Net Radio. It's old news. It's all old. But he has a bad back, and for some reason when he gets close to getting to weight or starts getting in real fight shape, his back goes out on him and he has to lay down for 2 weeks, or kind of what Mike Tyson was saying the other day about you have one good day, then you might be down and out. These guys, they've been training their whole lives, especially Oscar. His whole life he's been training like this, and his body just will not respond anymore. So that being said, I mean, if Oscar makes this announcement and we come to early 2022 and he falls out again, I mean, come on, we got to tell somebody needs to tell him you just got to hang it up.
This is like tell him a lot of things, but that hasn't really worked out to date.
The partying is one thing. Someone needs to tell Oscar stop with the shades in the casino, though, or in the ring,
in the arena. In the
arena,
in the crowd.
Yeah.
He was
Mario. Tell him about the sunglasses, Mario.
Hey, Miguel, is he not like the only one of maybe 3 guys in the first 4 rows that are doing this anymore?
Yeah.
Now, I know when you watch the PBC fights, like they all have sunglasses. It's sunglasses are really in. But it seems like the fights that Oscar's been to on the DAZN undercards, they're just not holding the same crowd. And you can always spot Oscar. You're like, hey, look, the guy looks like he has a hangover. There's Oscar. Yeah. There's Oscar.
I was able to point him out at the
Oscar's the one's like, hey,
and I was like, wait a second,
man, these are bright lights. Give me your glasses. Yeah. My eyes hurt.
Mario,
I got a good excuse.
Mario, give me your glasses. Why is your face so small, Mario? It's like your penis. Oh, who said that? Teofimo Lopez Sr. Don't need no rematch.
I swear, in the Canelo fight, Lee, he looks like he's trying to have a disguise on. He's like the only guy. The Canelo Plant fight. He's like, oh, look, there's Oscar trying to hide in the corner. Yeah, we all see you're there, buddy. Yeah. We see
it's like
you.
The only dude wearing glasses. He might as well have had those glasses now with like the big nose and the fucking eyebrows and stuff.
The cover photo is going to be of Oscar, and I've got to put a cheap mustache and a wig on him, trying to sneak into a Canelo fight. Teofimo Lopez Sr., we don't need no rematch. Smart, because you'll lose that one too. My mistake was leaving my son at 135 for too long. You remember the corner we talked about having such great moments as, fuck it, hurry up, knock this dude out. Okay, calm down. That corner has now said, we don't need a rematch. Sure, okay. Let's see what they have to say, Mr. Senior. I don't need no rematch. Good English. Way to start it off. My mistake was leaving my son at 135 for so long. This game, you got to knock everybody out. No, you don't. No, you don't. What are you talking about? No, you don't. I mean, we could point at Floyd Mayweather since he's arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I can't remember the last time he knocked somebody out. But all right, let's just keep going with this. If you don't knock everyone out, this is what happens. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even happen remotely. They select the winner. Either the promoter pays somebody off or somebody actually wins on their merit. That's how it works. What you're implying is that the promoter didn't want your guy to win. And I said in the early rounds, did I not via text that I'm pretty sure that DAZN, who promoted this fight, Eddie Hearn, would much rather have Kambosos win than Teofimo, who is promoted by Bob Arum. So you knew you had to get a knockout going into this fight. Knew it. You had to know it. Somebody in your camp said, oh, this is fucked up. It's Eddie's event. He's backing Kambosos. We probably need to make a really strong showing. He did not make a strong showing. What his father's saying is that they're still in this stuck, we won 10 rounds. I don't know what fight they watched. Honest to God, Miguel, what is it with these two? Kambosos had a great line that Teofimo might have had a concussion when he said the 10-2 thing. Yeah. His dad is obviously just a dad, right? I would like to believe that I've said it to my daughter when she has a bad competition. You guys were awful. I mean, I'll tell her. I don't try to lie to Andrew, you're a dad. Do you lie to your kids? Oh, you did your best. I don't even know what that means.
Practice more, you wouldn't drop the flag.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. Yeah, you drop the flag.
It's gotta be a little tough sometimes.
You gotta be tough love. When my daughter was very small, I'm getting the feeling that Senior never had this talk. And Miguel, I guess it's a day of parenting for you. Early in my daughter's life, I said, do you know what a finisher's trophy is? She looked at me and she goes, yeah. I said, are they okay? And she goes, no. And I went, right. They're not. They're for whiny little kids who don't put in the effort, but they think they get something for being on the team. Teofimo Lopez Sr. is buying into his son's delusional reaccounting of this 10-2 win and that they were magically stolen away from them by Eddie Hearn and the whole evening. You've rewatched the fight, Miguel, I'm sure, like a mental patient. Mm-hmm. Did the score change in a week?
Well, I try not to score them when I rewatch them because, the judges only get one crack at it. So I figure, well, I'm going to get one crack at it. So whatever my original one is, that's it. Just pack it up. That was my decision, whatever. Even if I change my mind later, but it's that's what it was at the time. So I don't try to rescore it. However, I didn't sense I saw anything different the second or third or fourth time that I actually watched it, because I watched it one other time later that night and then a couple of times the day after. So I didn't feel like anything really changed. There was a couple of instances where I thought, okay, maybe this one swing round I might have given it to Teofimo, but that was really reaching. On Teofimo Senior's on his note, as far as his instructions that he was giving to Teofimo Jr. Somebody made a video on YouTube with just his instructions. It's fucking great. It's just like his dumbass shit, and it's just like a 2-3 minute video of his instructions in between the rounds, and it's fantastic.
I gotta see
I'll send
that.
it. I'll send it.
Yeah,
to you.
that's
It's
good.
great. But it's just, I mean, it's kind of hard to hear because there's music. The DJs play music in between the rounds and stuff like that. But I didn't sense like there was anything really different. I mean, I understand. I try to at least understand where like Teofimo Senior is coming from here. It's like he's gonna try to take the responsibility himself. Be like, I dropped the ball. It's not my kid. I'm the one. He listened to me. Whatever. So I credit him there. But I mean, fuck. It's at this point, it's like with everything that is done, and I'm sure there's a story about it later about Teofimo's health going into the fight. It's literally becoming what this was with Teofimo and Lomachenko. Everybody told Lomachenko, well, if you needed surgery, you shouldn't have fucking fought. Tough shit. You took the fight anyway. Well, Teofimo, you took the fight, so tough shit. That's kind of ultimately what it comes down to. But I got to show you guys that video. It's hilarious.
Well, and now I'm thinking somebody's got to do like a dueling banjos. Deontay Wilder's corner in his first fight or second fight, and Teofimo's corner back and forth. I mean, that's some quality boxing tips for new people.
If you remember, Lopez put out a tweet about Wilder being a bitch, I believe. Stop being a bitch with your excuses or something like that. And here we are a few months later with him and his dad going insane. And when I think of the father-son relationship, Lee, I think Mr. Deeds had it the best, right? The college football quarterback that's cussing in front of the girl. His dad starts whooping him on the telephone. I think that's how Teofimo is with his dad. I think these dads kind of control their sons. That's why their sons are nervous to tell their dad, hey, Dad, I got to let you go, or you're second in command. You don't even have to get rid of him. Why can't he just be second? You're second trainer. I'm going to have a new chief trainer. We're gonna go farther, though, Dad. Right? You're still here. You're still going to Vegas. You're still part of the dream, the takeover. Why can't they even do this to their dads?
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, like a couple of weekends ago when I went to, I think it was Thanksgiving Eve when I went to Bones Adams gym here, where Devin Haney had like an open workout, like a media workout. It was hit. I mean, he's like a soft-spoken dude. Like he really doesn't make a lot of noise, as far as himself go. But holy hell, his pops, was his name Bill? I think his name is. Holy dude, that dude was not like stop. I mean, especially when the cameras and everyone's phones were turned towards him. Holy shit, he turned on that switch and it was just like loud as shit, and you can barely hear what the hell Devin was saying. But I mean, it didn't look like Devin was necessarily disagreeing with him. I don't think he was really trying to disagree with him, but that's really what it felt like. It's like, all right, dude, we're here for your kid. Let your kid talk. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that he was trying to take away that, but it was way louder than his son, and his son really didn't do anything to be like, Dad, all right, relax. We're gonna do this workout, whatever. But yeah, it was just that's how you sense it. It's just like, well, yeah, these kids, they don't want to call them kids, but they're younger than me. But like they don't want to, and this happened to me. I don't want to turn around and tell my dad like, Dad, fucking stop it already. God damn it. We can't do that shit. It's more like it's a discipline thing, I suppose. But that's the sense that I got in that gym.
Moving forward, Amir Khan and Kell Brook grudge match finally set for February 19th. It's official. We are here. We've been covering it every week for, I guess, someone.
Can I add one thing to that Lopez story?
Sure.
Because I don't give a shit about Kell Brook and Khan. Is the
cool.
First reason.
Then I'm getting rid of that story, and we'll just jump to the next one.
I'm just kidding, Lee. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you. Listen, but did you hear that his father started texting the hell out of Eddie Hearn?
No, but I like it.
Yeah.
Drunk girlfriend
I can't believe he did this to us. He was texting him like, I would love for Eddie Hearn to read him out loud. Drunk texting at midnight.
Oh gosh, that's so great.
So yeah, not a good look. If you guys seen the pound for pound list, they don't even, or what is it, top 10, the ratings that you put out, Lee, the Zone put out, how you sent those to us last night? They don't even have Lopez's name on there. It's almost like they're going to get rid of him because of his father. And they should. His father was an embarrassment. His dad was yelling during the media day. And like you said, Miguel, with Devin Haney's father being so loud, you couldn't even hear the son. They were literally breaking up the interview. And you just see Teofimo's like looking for his dad. He's just like, because he can hear his dad screaming, but he's doing an interview, but he's so loud that he's making them stop and actually. Oh, what is my dad in a fight? Is he getting arrested? Like, what's going on over there? It's embarrassment. After the fight, he's an embarrassment. No, at some point, as a young man, you need to grow up and you need to tell either your overprotective mother or your out of control father. At some point, you gotta let it go, right? I'm my own man. I'm doing my own things. Look, if they can't take being the second trainer, then you let them go totally and just take care of them. Do whatever you have to do to make things right on the outside of the sport, but you still got to get rid of them. Lopez's career, unfortunately, is going to end up like Danny Garcia if he continues down the path of, I'm going to ride and die with my dad. Everybody in the boxing world sees that the father, just like Angel, had taken Danny as far as he could. And they were world champs. Dude, he had one of the greatest, best wins of his careers under his father against Lomachenko. Ride that into the sunset. But they got to sit down and talk because
Pivot.
Right now he's gonna get blackballed because how his dad's acting.
It's time to pivot. Got to pull an Oscar De La Hoya and go, Dad, I know you're going to disown me. You got to go.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Bringing Oscar back.
Hey, like Bobby though, Ricky Bobby, he left those tickets at the thing. His dad took those tickets
you keep leaving the
Gonna be
tickets for
front
Dad.
row. He better be front row.
Everything in my life's about you, Dad. If you don't come in first, you come in last. Oh, well, son, that's just wrong. I could have been high when I said that.
Yeah, I was drunk when I said that.
You could come in second. You could come in third.
That's just stupid.
That's just stupid. Let me translate all this into Australian for our producer, Sam Navajero. Yeah. All right, cool. Moving forward, Andy Ruiz is set to return. He's eyeing a March return in Mexico City. You know, the guy who's from the United States but claims he's from Mexico. I turn now to our Mexico correspondent who does travel there frequently. Can you explain to me his dual citizenship, Miguel, at all? Because I still to this day don't know exactly where he's from.
I don't either. I mean, I don't know. Good for him, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Good on him.
I don't know how much of a fan base he has in Mexico City. I mean, if anything, it'll be north of the fucking more north towards Tijuana, Mexicali, or something like that. And maybe he'll have a little bit more of a fanfare there. But going as deep as Mexico City is kind of deep, bro. I don't know if you somebody less skinned like you wants to go that deep.
Well, if you were a boxer, right, and you fought out of Vegas, and then you suddenly lost your fucking head, and you didn't listen to me or Andrew as your promoters, telling you, what the fuck are you saying? You're from where? And then you said, hey, my next fight, my return, because I just lost the championship. And then I fought a nobody and nobody really cared. My next fight's going to be in Mexico because that's my fan base. Where in Mexico would you want to fight, Miguel?
Oh, it would be closer to the border, yo. It'll be Tijuana.
Family, right?
It'll be Mexicali.
Get family there.
Ensenada, you best believe it. It'll be closer to the border. No way in hell am I going that deep.
Who would want to? Have you been down there? When's the last time you were there? Last time I was there was a while ago. Hey. Tijuana.
It's only if the money. It's only if the money's good. Listen, we're talking money here. That's the only reason why you would want to be in America rather than a few miles over the border, right? It's.
Well, you'll get people who travel. Like if they planned it really in TJ, I've been to lots of fights in TJ. I've been to lots of MMA in TJ. Plus it's TJ, which is insanely fun.
Yeah.
Right.
It is basically been considered, well, forget it, but it's a lot of fun. So that's interesting to me. Where was it the Chavez fought, Miguel? Do you remember the Bullring Azteca? I thought it was like Azteca.
Something like that. Damn it, I don't remember specifically.
It was a bull. What did they get in there? 80,000 for him.
Yeah, him and Greg Haugen.
No, you're talking about him versus Haugen. Greg Haugen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bull ring, and it was 125,000.
Okay, 125,000.
It broke
All right,
Muhammad.
let's hypothetically put this
Muhammad
together.
Ali's record.
Wait, let's say that Andy Ruiz has got that kind of skill set as a heavyweight. Who would he like? I don't even know any other Mexican heavyweights. I mean, I'm not trying to be a racist dick here. I mean, I'm being legit. Who would he fight exactly in Mexico City that would bring, like, you'd have to
another
get a white
Al
guy.
Heyman fighter?
No, a white
Nah,
guy.
they'll do it. Al Heyman can send 2 guys down there. There's no problem
Otto
with that.
Wallen.
It's who's going to come and watch this.
Depends
For
how
the
much
prices
tickets
that
are.
they'll. Yeah, it's got to come down to the ticket prices, and then you're going to see what Andy Ruiz star power is like over there.
Well, you need a Haugen, right?
But-
Somebody who's like basically a weird patriot right wing fucking nutbag, right? So people can
I
hate
think
on him.
Chavez would have sold out. I think Chavez would have sold out fighting his shadow, doing the mitts with his trainer at this time, Lee. I mean, you're talking Chavez and Andy Ruiz are not in the same.
Haugen
That's why I'm
helped that
exaggerating
fight
there.
a lot.
They're not in
Haugen
the
was
same
a
fucking
major
ballpark,
dick.
bro.
You need a good white
Chavez
dick.
is Ali Pacquiao. Andy Ruiz is some kid who doesn't know where he's from, won the title for a few months, and hasn't done shit since then. So he's not Chavez. Chavez, you can't even compare those two. They're gonna have the same magnitude of a fight. They're not. What this is about is, can Andy Ruiz even make $1 million over there? That I don't know.
Well, here's the joke that I've already got in my mind, which is the title of today's show. Andy Ruiz needs some good white dick.
Oh my gosh, what?
It's a good title. I like it. Just
No.
flows right out of the mouth.
No, you gotta explain. No, wait, I can't
right into
back
Andy's
that title unless you explain that.
Well, since I'm not going to get to name it that, you guys will shoot it down at the end of the show. I'm not even going to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it in here
Yeah.
because it dawned on me, if I was taking notes for titles for today's show, Andy Ruiz needs some good white dick. That's a great title for the show.
I think a good white dick is a little bit more.
A good white dick.
Yeah,
Well,
that makes a
a
little more
good white
sense.
dick. And it shouldn't be hard to find. There are many white dicks in the world.
In the boxing world.
Moving forward, Robert Easter is given 2 years probation for assault charges.
Ooh.
Yeah, him. You're probably thinking to yourself, but Lee, I don't really care about Robert Easter, nor do I, to be perfectly honest. But we do track boxers that are dicks. And Robert Easter is definitely a dick. He assaulted someone. According to the police records, Easter allegedly, we're still at the allegedly phase, hit a 28-year-old woman on the left side of her face, causing the woman to lose consciousness. The victim claimed to police that Easter spit on her before punching her. What a classy guy.
Oh, he cleaned her up first.
Shout out note to Mauricio Suleiman. Let's get the medallion and the t-shirt on this piece of shit, shall we? I start with you, Miguel. Are you surprised that they only gave him 2 years probation for assault and assault again? By the way, spitting is assault, then the punch is assault. It's double. What a piece of shit.
You get points taken away though, or taken away when it is a stripper at the Rusty. What was that strip club called?
The
Lee?
Rusty Hanger, or I remember.
Yeah.
We actually entitled the show named after the
the
brass
Rusty
monkey
needle
or
or
the
some
brass
shit.
umbrella. Or... Go check the show. I even got their actual logo and got it up. It was like Brass City or fuck. Anyone got anything on
And
this
because
other
I'm
than us
using,
updating this piece of
because I
crap?
used the word tooken again, I will have to write that 100 times. My lady is gonna catch this. And yeah,
Is she
I'm pretty
listening
much in
to the
trouble.
show now? Do I have to behave more?
Every once in a while she's like, oh, she'll just send a text.
All right,
with it,
Chris, here's my question.
palm over
Is
the face.
Big white dick joke funny to a woman? Because I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. I
No,
think that
all
joke
right,
is
we'll see.
hilarious.
We'll see.
WBC president, the Makabu Muchuchu, whatever, will go against Canelo. In a biggish whorish move, Mauricio Suleiman has said that the current WBC champion at cruiserweight, Makubu, who's fighting a guy named, no joke, Muchunu.
It seems like a fix.
It
I don't
does-
like it.
Is Don King involved?
Yes.
He is actually. Yes. What did you know?
The winner of the Makubu Muchunu will go against Canelo. There are many fights that are already in the pipeline, and this is one of them. What the fuck? Can I add my name to that list, to the Canelo sweepstakes, since there are many in the pipeline and we're just naming fights? Honish versus Canelo. I'll cut weight. I'll make what is it, 185? What do I got to cut to? Like, what's the number here for that fight? I mean,
I think it's
I'm
200
down.
actually. 200 for
For
cruiserweights.
Makubu, I'm already at 200. This is a cakewalk, right? And what is this? Like a $5 million fight for
With
Canelo knocking
no
me out?
training, you're already at 200.
Yeah, no training. Yeah, I'm actually.
It's a $5 million fight for Don King. It's about a $250,000 fight for Makubu.
Oh, Andrew.
Hey, that's what Don does.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
in that contract, it's going to say 90% of the money goes to co-promoter Don King Productions.
It's
And they're
gonna
everyone's
be a
going to be like,
contract.
hey, everyone's going to be like, Makubu, do you know what this says? Makubu's going to be like, no, I do not know what it says. And be like,
Yes.
you're fucked.
You
Yeah,
expect
I
it
don't
to
know.
speak English, right? Because all the contracts will be in English, and they'll just point at shit.
Everybody, no, you know what? Oh, a lot of foreigners do, and I'm tired of acting like they don't. They're all smarter than us. They fucking 3 languages out of some of these guys. I'm like, I can't even fucking learn one. So no, he probably does fluent in English, Makubu. Yes, sir. Yes, he is.
All right, I'm going to translate it into Australian. Yeah. There you go. That joke's not getting old yet. Maybe by the 4th or 5th story. Miguel. All right, do you want in? Should we add your name to the list? Because according to Mauricio, there's a lot of fights in the pipeline. Would you like? Can you get down to 200?
Yeah, I'm sure I can. Yes, I mean that would be a cakewalk. I mean, I think after eating, Thanksgiving dinner, I'm pretty sure I can make 200 no problem.
Do you even want to discuss the Popeyes on Sunday night
watching the Davis fight
with the mac and cheese?
With the mac and cheese and the biscuits, I'm pretty sure I can make 200 no problem.
All right, cool. So just as a note from Fight Net Radio, we're in the pipeline as well, and it's a fight to be considered. Andrew will do the promoting. Winner will face his son. Glad we could do. Mauricio is such a fucking whore. Yeah, I'm gonna make this happen. This is basically what he's saying. Yeah, I'll make it happen if Canelo wants to do it, even though it has shit. Canelo hasn't even committed to this shit. This is a bunch of people just finding an angle for him to fight and take a title in another weight class.
And when is this fight even taking place? Like this Makabu and the dude
whenever.
Because
because
Canelo likes to stay active, and he's been active, a lot more active than other champions. So if he's gonna have to wait there 6 months.
There are plenty of Caleb Plants in his weight class for him to beat up on. Plenty.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Moving forward, Hearns throws cold water at talk of Joshua stepping aside to allow Fury Usyk. There you go, Tommy Hearns. Get involved. What have you got to say? I don't think that's a consideration for you.
Right.
At the moment, the only focus is on the rematch. For you, I'm glad I could translate this for other people listening. Anthony Joshua wants to fight Alexander Usyk. You do, for sure.
Eventually.
Until that is presented to him, which it hasn't, and it hasn't been presented to him. There, he even put it in his own self. This fight hasn't even been set up yet. He's saying it right here, people. Until it's presented. They're waiting for a cash offer from Team Fury. That's what they're waiting on. If you're going to make a step aside, this is literally an open letter to Bob Arum and whoever that white dude is in England that apparently is attached to him as well. Frank Warren. I can never remember Warren's name. He only shows up for Tyson Fury fights and a few MTK fights. I start with you, Andrew, this time. Sounds to me like they're fishing for a check to step aside.
Yeah, they're definitely fishing for a check, and they're trying they're trying to act like they don't want it, right? No, I really want the rematch. Because if your fighter's like, which Anthony Joshua was, he was like, oh yeah, of course I would take step aside money. Well, the offer's not going to be too big. You don't want the fight. If you're the one offering to take the step aside, then you don't want the fight with Usyk. So why would we give you $40 million? But if you're actually the roadblock to a $200 million fight, well, now they might work with you guys, and they're going to work that $40 million down. But definitely they're going to try to get him to step aside because the pot is that much bigger if Usyk and Fury do it now. So yes, definitely. This is the right move. Look, we've said this for weeks. This is the right move for Joshua. An immediate rematch with Usyk. He does not win. He didn't give his trainer the proper time to even change him before fighting a fighter skilled as Usyk is. So this is the right move. It's just about can ESPN Bob Arum work a deal with Eddie Hearn and Joshua that they all think is fair, and he'll step aside? Right now, their asking price is $40 million.
Miguel.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Tommy Hearn himself who created the rumor. It's like, what? Well, there's a rumor about us taking step-side money? No, we don't want everyone to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him that spread the fucking rumor. But I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, why wouldn't he do it? I mean, let's fucking be realistic here. He's gonna take some money to not take an ass whooping, and then later on get the winner. Of course, he's gonna do it. I mean, if it comes down to that, of course. But I wouldn't be surprised if something like that actually does come up, and he goes, he takes it and just steps aside. Why not? Shit, I'll do it.
There you go.
We must not forget Tyson Fury in that fourth round seemed like he got a little bit helped by the ref on getting up on this third fight.
On the count again?
They were seconds away from not having Tyson Fury as undisputed anymore, and that whole thing just getting blown out the water. Fuck the Joshua Fury fight. We're not having any fights that are the magnitude that these two guys are still holding right now. If these two get it on, the fight might not be big in America, but around the globe in the boxing world, this fight would be huge. There would be money coming in from all sides. The gambling would be huge on it, because I still think diehard fans are gambling on this fight. Then you talk about the UK, you talk about everywhere else. Usyk Fury sells. As it gets closer, it would get hotter and it would sell. They want to strike it while it's hot. You waited around. Tyson Fury might not get up the next time. This guy's been dropped, 4 times in his last 2 fights? Or his 3 fights? 4 times the last 3 fights.
Well, they were all with I mean, no, hold on. Well, he wasn't dropped. It was the first fight with Wilder. He was dropped there. And then he wasn't dropped in the rematch, but he was dropped in the third one. And I think he had the Volin fight in between, right? I think. So yeah, I mean, all of it. But as far as let me see here. Oh no, his only other knockdown was against Steve Cunningham, which is years ago. But recently, they were all been by Wilder. I mean, I don't think there are any other heavyweights who hit like fucking Wilder. So I mean, yeah, it looks kind of bad on Fury's part that he's been dropped basically damn near every single time. But it has been against a heavy hitter like Wilder. So there's a reason for it,
Well, yeah, you guys won't believe it. Joining us on the phone,
I don't believe it.
Tommy Hearns. AKA Eddie Hearn. I had a chance to do a phone interview with him earlier, and I said, would you mind doing an impersonation of Bob Arum in regards to this fight? Oh, and of course, wow, a full commercial at that.
Of course.
Oh my God. I'm stalling now at this point for the joke that I set up.
Your Bob Arum impression. Fuck off, you prick.
There you go. Was it worth it? Was it worth
great.
it? I don't know. Was it worth it? I think mine is better.
It certainly would have been better without the commercial at the beginning, but
I get it.
It didn't quite land as well, but we got it.
Which is why it's only on the podcast episode. The video is actually only going to be of the fight reviews. Whatever. There you go, podcast people behind the scenes. Maybe I edited it. Maybe I didn't. Tyson Fury. Bob Arum would like to see Fury fight 3 times in 2022.
Damn.
Let's ask Bob directly. I was able to talk to him on the phone today as well.
Shut the fuck up, you little...
It doesn't get old. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Bob's
get
fucking awesome.
Old. Bob, what did you think about Jose Aldo this weekend?
UFC are a bunch of skinhead white guys. White guy.
I love the fact that Ariel Hawani, who is a skinhead, actually took offense to that. Call a spade, bro. Call a spade a spade. But oh my God, to this day, it's still the best watching.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
That doesn't get old. Come on, let's be honest. It doesn't get old. Well, Bob, what have you got to say? Joining us is our own top ranked Bob. How are you today, Bob? Great. Let's get to it. You prick. You sound nothing like the other Bob, but whatever, Bob. Let's get moving. What I would like to see in the future is what we would all like to see. them getting into the ring at the end of February or March, I don't know, whatever year it is. Hopefully that is how it will all roll out. Fury is ready to go to fight anybody at this point. I really believe that he is the preeminent heavyweight in the world. There's nobody out there that he would be reluctant to fight, more or less. I mean, more or less. I think Dillian White would be a great next fight. We've got to push ahead and get a date and an opponent for Fury. And if that's something we can do and it's logical and Dillian White didn't get fucked over again by Eddie Hearn, who's a shitty promoter, then we'll do the fight. All right. We're all caught up on that. And now I'm done doing Bob for this week so that I've met let me translate into Australian for our producer, Sam Navajero, who likes Top Rank Bob to appear. Yeah. All right. Now, let's get back to the meat of this. 3 fights, is that feasible from your perspective, Andrew?
No. Hell no. I don't see it in him anymore. I think I believe Tyson Fury's here for about 2-3 more fights, and they're all going to be against Usyk or Joshua, and he's going home. I don't see him for the long run anymore in boxing.
Hey, prick. Go ahead.
I wish I could. I'm going to have to take this and turn it into something. Yeah.
I know it's an awesome soundbite. It's almost as good as the Cyndi Lauper money changes everything.
We did that for so many weeks. I finally got I was wondering how many weeks it would take of doing the Cyndi Lauper clip before Sam would have had enough. And since Sam has now figured me out that if he doesn't mention it, I'm going to give up on it on my own. I got to change my game up now. So I might be doing Australian for the next month as a running joke. Miguel, I took a drink of coffee in the middle of that. Miguel,
you would have paid him what he was looking for.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
Oh my God, so great. So great. So great. It doesn't get old. Miguel, can he fight 3 times? Can he get 3 name fights? Can he make another $100 million next year?
Well, I think that second question is the more important one. Can he do it? I think he can, obviously. 3 fights in a year is definitely doable, even still at his age. But the second question, can he get 3 top-notch, top money-making opponents? I don't think so. And because I don't think he can, then I think that I'm going to go with what Andrew was saying, that I mean, however many few fights he has left, it's only, and this would probably be another good plug for that, Cyndi Lauper song. But if there's a third fight in this year somewhere for him that could potentially be big, if he ends up fighting, I don't know, let's just say for the sake of argument, the winner of was it Usyk and AJ, right? And then later on, whoever the hell lost that one, gets a crack at him eventually, then that's probably the only way I would see that him fighting, that many times in the year. But really, I don't even think there's enough opponents for him to entice him into having that third fight. 2 seems logical. I think that's kind of reasonable. I think he can do 2. Well, I should say can do. He can do 3. He can, but I don't think there's going to be enough opponents out there that's going to entice him into getting something that'll bring the payday to get him into the ring a third time. No, I don't think so. We're pretty sure. I feel like, I mean, he is kind of on that last, stretch of his career. I feel like he does have, a few more fights in him, not just 3, to bring all 3 out, to blow his wad in 2022 and get all 3 out of there. I'm pretty sure he's going to stretch him out a little bit and be the next maybe 2 years or so, and then that'd be it. But he's going to fight more than 3 times before the end of his career, I think.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick.
Yeah.
Let me say,
Tell me how you really feel.
These guys, these fighters are all falling into the same category, is that they're getting paid way too much money to come back for tune-ups. Back in the day, you were able to pay a fighter, say, $15 million, and then maybe bring them back for $8 million on HBO or something. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but they were able to work deals with these guys. Nowadays, there are no deals. The deal now is $40 million, $35 million. What did Canelo give back to his company? A few $1 million? Yeah, I still want $32 million a fight. They shipped him off to pay-per-view. Tyson Fury shipped off to pay-per-view because they don't have that type of money. And I'm sorry, boxing in America doesn't generate Super Bowl ads. They just don't. There was one fight that did it. Pacquiao Mayweather would have done it on any given day, but that was one fight in this last 20, 30 years, maybe since De La Hoya Trinidad. So Tyson Fury now falls into the category that ESPN can't just put him on regular ESPN and pay him fucking 30 million, 40 million, whatever he's making as a heavyweight champ now. So they have to look for a pay-per-view opponent. There's not, like Miguel just finished saying, there ain't too many of those guys out there. Deontay Wilder was a pay-per-view draw because of his fan base and he was known. There ain't no more Deontay's there. Anthony Joshua lost, or he would be in the same predicament that the other Canelo and Tyson are in with DAZN. He makes way too much money. There's not a tune-up that generates that money for everyone. Pay-per-view is the only way you're going to be able to pay someone to take a tune-up fight and give them 30 to 40 million bucks for that fight. So Tyson Fury,
and who would pay for that? Who the fuck would pay for that tune-up fight to put it on pay-per-view? I mean, like, how much these pay-per-views going to be? Like $75 usually is roughly how much they are for a tune-up fight. Can you imagine that, having to fork up that kind of shit for? And then chances are, Bob isn't going to exactly stack the undercard either. So we're going to have a weak undercard on top of that, main evented by a tune-up fight by Fury. I don't know how that's going to be.
You're not buying into Nico and his star-studded.
The worst thing,
Nico Ali, Walsh.
The worst thing boxing ever did was allow HBO to walk. And I'm going to keep saying that until I'm done covering this sport. But that has hurt the sport of boxing way more than anything else we've done by shooting ourselves in the foot, was letting HBO walk. They should have worked a deal out where HBO took a bigger percentage from the pay-per-view buys or something. But DAZN and ESPN have not worked out for our heavy hitters. And back in the day, we all had heavy hitters, plus HBO had HBO After Dark. They had HBO Championship Boxing. They had HBO pay-per-view. They were fucking giving our sport money every weekend on some years. And we threw that all away to chase $1 billion that DAZN was giving out there. And I say we, like I got a piece, but you know what I'm saying? The promoters. The promoters went running for that money. We let HBO walk, and now look at, we can't fucking put a major fight on. We already know the PBC. That's why all their cards are bullshit. They've said it many times. There's nothing they can do. 60 million. That's all they got. 60 million. Well, fuck, man. Deontay Wilder made 40 million, or let's lowball it. 25 million against his last fight with Fury. How are they supposed to put that on regular cable if he's going to make 25 million of your 60 that's supposed to last the whole year?
Well, we've seen what they put out for the rest of the year, and that explains it. You don't pay anybody anything.
Yeah, anybody else, not the undercard, not the ones on Fox or Showtime, none of those motherfuckers.
I have a brand new segment on the show. Are you guys excited about this? I spared no expense for the broadcast people. Joining us now live, our newest person to join the show, Mauro Ranallo. Hello, everybody. Mauro Ranallo here, doing the Fight Net radio request line. This one's going out to Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn, and, of course, Bob Arum. Not to mention Miguel Antonio Barragan and Andrew Lapachet. This song goes out for all of you guys. Cyndi Lauper. I went a long way for that joke. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I even got a Mauro joke in. Remember, depression is real, folks. All right, cool. Did I get everything?
You know how many casual fans watched HBO boxing, and only HBO boxing, but how much money they made off of just the casuals tuning in on a Saturday right after a big movie that was on, and their TV just stood on HBO, and it was like, oh, I seen that fight. It was really good. I don't know who the fought, but man, I like him now. He's a real good fight. All of this was created by HBO.
They take their $50,000, rub it in bacon grease, and hang it between the ring, and these guys are hungry, and they're fighting for money. Now everybody's got a goddamn contract.
Well, and everyone wanted to be Floyd. No, but everyone also wanted to be Floyd, and that was another reason why they had to walk. Not everybody can make 20 million, 100. I ain't Floyd at the end. I make 100 million, 80 million to step in the ring. Come on. Now look at what we have.
And HBO was like on every, and I've done this myself a few times. Like I went out of town and I stayed in a hotel. HBO was in that
That's
fucking
right.
hotel. Every fucking place you go,
That's
every
right.
hotel, anywhere, you're gonna have HBO. And one way or another, I managed to catch the fights. I didn't fucking miss a goddamn thing. So it's just like that shit was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think I'm not sure how long
Casual
it's gonna
fans
take
watch
before we're gonna.
HBO. They don't watch
Yeah,
Showtime.
Yeah,
They don't.
exactly.
That's
that's
the
right.
Exactly.
difference.
They
I
don't
don't know when
watch
we're
the
gonna realize
zone.
that. Yeah.
They don't
They,
watch
Or
the
anything
they
else.
zone.
do
They
not
barely.
watch the
That's
zone.
why Bob Arum has cornered this market. And look, as much as I want to shit on the PBC, which I'll do later on, the PBC generally makes their content available to the casual fans, right? They're not held up
Yeah,
on
and
some.
really,
Everybody has
Go
access
ahead.
to PBC and PBC replays through the ass with retouched audios. If you go rewatch their fights, their audio is not the same as Fight Night. They go back and they clean everything up. They change the audio and they pump that shit out every hour because Fox bought it for nothing. So it's filler during the day when all these PBC fans are home. Yeah, I said it. I said it. If you're a PBC fan, you're a worthless can collecting, stay at
oh
home,
my gosh,
getting quarters to
yeah.
do the laundry. Fuck. I said it. I can't stand the PBC and or its fans. Period. Lee, how do you really feel? Goddamn right.
No, that would have been the the Bob clip. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
you fucking-
shut up, you fucking prick. All right, I worked really hard on the next joke. Again, this is only on the audio broadcast. Audio people, go check out the video if you want to. We're just doing the actual fights today on the video. But this next joke I'm going to set up because I invested a lot of time into this next joke. And last time I did this, it was a home run per Andrew. So I am once again pointing at the left field fence on this next joke, Andrew, and story.
Uh-oh.
Pointing. I'm pointing Babe Ruth style. I'm going back to back home runs.
Oh, prediction.
Prediction. It's really hard when you write a joke like this, but we're going to try it. Clarissa Shields was named to 30 under 30 for on the Forbes list of sports figures this year. And that's really exciting. I was able to corner an interview with Clarissa, and I would like to play it now about her being the 30 under 30.
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
All right, how was the joke?
Lee, you're terrible.
You don't want to laugh at it, but you know it's funny. You know it's funny. That's a great joke that I set up. Miguel, are you going to... I'm looking for an Olympic scorecard. Or you can give me a Bob Arum euphemism. Was it a single, double, triple, home run?
That was a solid triple, I'd say. I don't know if it'd be a home run, but it's a solid triple.
And Andrew, did you want to rate the joke?
No, I'm not rating that joke. That's terrible.
All right.
Clarissa's a female. Lee does great for the sport.
Connor Ben will be ringside for the Con Brook fight. Apparently, the Con Brook fight that Andrew didn't want to talk about earlier is coming back to haunt him. Con and Brooker are scheduled to fight,
Yeah.
and apparently Connor Ben wants the fucking greasy ass leftovers of one of these old guys after the fight. I can't tell if this is pathetic or brilliant on Connor Ben's part. I mean, I got to be perfectly honest. It's literally picking on the carcass of two near-death boxers. So I'll start with you this time, Miguel. Is Connor Ben brilliant for wanting to, basically pulverize one of these old dudes, or is it just sad?
I mean, I guess it's both. I don't know if we can say it's one or the other. I mean, it's sad that number one, these guys are, fighting one another. I'm talking about Khan and Brooke here, but I mean, we've heard the phrase, a day late, a dollar short. This is like years late and millions of dollars short. Like at this point, no one gives a flying fuck about this, and I'm not sure how much anyone's going to give a rat's ass of who the winner, comes out. This fight comes out, and then ends up potentially fighting Connor Ben later on, which is, of course, the reason why Ben is going to be there to begin with. It's just part of the sport. Eventually the new young lion takes out the old lion. Is kind of just how it is, right? These guys are way past that already. Like they've already passed their torch to whoever the fuck they were going to pass it at one point. It's not going to really do Conor Benn any justice or really help improve his career should he beat whoever the winner of this fight comes out here. So it's both sad and smart. Yes, I get it. This is kind of just part of the sport. You're going to have old timers on you, just like, on your record, the way, Canelo has guys like Baltimore and Mosley on his record. It's just kind of like, all right, you got to have some sort of notable name on your record. So I guess to some degree, that's why it's smart. But the flip side of that coin is that it's sad because we're going to see some of these guys get knocked the fuck out. One of these two here, maybe both.
Andrew Labouche, sad or brilliant?
Brilliant. There's so many places to go. Don't listen. This is what America's welterweights is missing. No one ever passed the ball, kept the ball rolling. Everyone wanted to become Floyd without beating Floyd. Floyd himself had to beat De La Hoya before he became Floyd. Floyd can't sell a fucking ticket before the fight with Oscar De La Hoya. He's not a pay-per-view star. He's none of that. Oscar gave him all that. Floyd will never admit it. They'll never admit it, but it was Top Rank who made Floyd Mayweather, and it was Oscar who graduated him into the pay-per-view star, because Oscar had people who loved him, and he had people who hated him. And a lot of the guys that hated Oscar fell in love with Floyd because Floyd won that fight and made Oscar look the way he did, even though I thought it was a close fight, but hear me out. And the fans that loved Oscar hated Floyd because he beat Oscar. So Floyd then carries on Oscar's fan base to his other pay-per-view fights, and they all tune in. Floyd didn't give that option. He gave it to Canelo. You know what? He gave it that one option to Canelo. Canelo fucking screwed it up, loses the fight. Vegas was ready to give him the fight. He screwed it up. He loses the fight. But Floyd never did that for the welterweights, and the welterweights are all scratching. Now, going back to this one, this only works for Conor Benn if Amir Khan wins, because Amir Khan is the legend in that ring.
Yeah,
it is
he's
not
the bigger
Kell
star.
Brook.
Yeah, he's the way bigger star.
That's right. Kell Brook is known, but he's not Amir Khan. If Amir Khan can look good and not say stop Kell Brook, that
Or show
Ben
up with
versus
his
Khan
wife.
fight is whatever the case. It makes that fight bigger over there in the UK. It makes Ben a bigger star. This is how we keep the ball rolling. This is what the American welterweights is missing. Yet they're all trying to demand pay-per-view money without having any legends on their resumes. Soon, Spence by default is going to become the legend, and Virgil Ortiz or one of the young guys will take out Spence. Conor Benn might take out Spence. Terrence Crawford by default, even though no, Terrence Crawford is going to become the legend, right? What is he? 34 already? Is he not 34 years old right now?
He's in the early 30s. I don't know how old, but yeah.
Yeah, he's like sitting there right now. So these are these guys have all been looking for that big payout. They are the guys that these new younger guys are going to take out to become the new kings of the division or whatever. They never reached that status. They never reached it. Manny wasted it on fucking Jeff Horn and Ugas. Those were the guys that took out Manny at the end after Floyd. These are nobodies. These are absolutely. He never got in the ring with Spence, and he never got in the ring with Crawford. Spence because he's a fucking bust, and Crawford because he was scared. He couldn't want to do it, and Bob Arum knew he couldn't give Manny no fucking $25 million and then not see that shit come back again.
There you go. Moving forward. Lost my pointer. There we go. Wilder.
Miguel, did you understand what I'm saying there? No, because Lee goes over stuff. Did you understand what I was saying there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that Floyd wasn't like the opportunity didn't, for one reason or another, didn't appear for Floyd to pass the torch at welterweight. I mean, yes, he did do it with Canelo, but I mean, realistically, Canelo was fucking 23 years old. I mean, I don't think he'd even reached his prime at that point yet. But it was still to some degree Floyd trying to pass the torch if that was to happen, because that's the reason he took it, right? It's like, oh shit, this guy looks to be the next major cash cow. If I can make him another cash cow or a bigger one by him having to whoop my ass at this age, then whatever. That's how you pass the torch in boxing. But I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like the welterweights. That kind of hasn't really happened because Manny did kind of spoil his ones right with fucking with Ugas and Horn. But I mean, somebody's got to pick up the slack eventually, right? Someone's got to pick up the torch, and we're looking at PBC over here with fucking with Spence, and then Crawford maybe. But even then, like we saw what happened with Crawford's and Porter's pay-per-view numbers. Is Crawford the guy that's going to be holding the fucking torch thing? I mean, it's going to be one of those like vacancies for a while before someone else does it because the lineage basically stopped with Floyd.
Now for our quick hits of news. I'm not passing right over it, Andrew. Wilder, the best is yet to come for me. I still have goals in this sport. Yes, your king has spoken to the Mirror, a fine UK publication that we use every once in a while on this show for my personal amusement. I'm feeling great. I'm doing great. We didn't even get what we wanted against Fury, but we still got something out of it. Okay, I need help on that one. I think we got something even bigger out besides just a victory. Okay, what? I'm grateful for that. I'm blessed all the way around. With that said, it's no complaints at all. We just have to move forward. If you're wondering, it's kind of how he talks when he talks normal. For those listening going, why are you talking in a deep? Because your king talks like this. You come up to a certain point as humans as we feel, as humans, we feel we come up to a dead end or we fail. That would be a period, not a comma next. We think this is it for us. No, you're wrong. It's kind of a fail. But when you're traveling along your journey, nothing should be, this is it. Okay. For me, this is not it, comma. This is just the beginning. The best is yet to come for me. Although I have accomplished a lot of things, more than I could have imagined, what exactly did you do but steal a green belt? Still to this day, I don't know what defines him as a great heavyweight champion. If you've listened to the show previously, you'll understand that. I do still think I do still have goals in the sport. Yeah, like beating someone in the top 10. That would be a good one. Beating someone in the top 10 would be a good goal for him. I'm looking to accomplish the goals that I still have left, like beating someone in the top 10. I broke my hand, so I'm healing in process right now. Once this is over, I'll resume training for sure. Boxing is a year-round sport, so you've always got to be prepared. You've always got to be ready. After this, I'm looking to get back in it. Okay. Your king has spoken. We'll start with you this time, Andrew. The king has spoken. Are you excited that he hasn't accomplished whatever it is that he needs to accomplish whenever or wherever that is? And that he still has goals.
His goal is to cash another check. Look, the price that Deontay's getting paid to fight in, there's no reason to give it up yet if he still has some fights out there. We all know that Andy Ruiz fight is probably a done deal for a pay-per-view event. I think that fight sells. I think they're both going to make a good amount of money on that one. So why not? And seriously, if Anthony Joshua takes step-aside money and him and Deontay Wilder want to work out a fight with each other, Lee, I'm not mad at that fight. I don't care that they're both losers. I'm not. Their records are still very strong, good resumes. They're both sort of in their primes, or at least at the top of the division. Let them fight. That's 2 checks. I mean, you're looking at another maybe $60-something million that could come Deontay's way for these fights that would be on both sides of the pond, would generate money, and they're both on pay-per-view. So, no, I don't think Deontay's going anywhere. Definitely here to stay.
Miguel.
Well, to kind of touch up on what Andrew was saying there with the possible fight with someone like Ruiz, this might be a better title for the show. But how about Ruiz needs a big black cock? Because I think that's what he needs here with.
Wow.
What if he goes to Mexico City?
Or a Mexican cock.
There you go. What if he gets Deontay to go to Mexico City?
BBC.
Holy yes.
BBC.
In Mexico City, wouldn't that be something? That would sell.
Andrew Ruiz needs BBC.
I think that
You
would
guys are
sell
close to
a
signing
lot.
off on this. You guys are really close to signing off on
That would make
BBC.
some major money in Mexico City. I would say people know who Deontay Wilder is. People know what he's done. So I mean, why not? That in itself, I think, would bring a lot of money.
And
I
it's definitely a BBC. He would definitely
There you
go
go.
full BBC.
There we go.
Oh my God, he'd be great. He would certainly pick it up.
They have to look at. I'm not trying to talk shit, but Don King was robbed out there when he did do the Chavez fight. And you guys could look it up. Like Deontay could not bring that.
No.
The same kind of character with all the jewelry and the watches. No. You can't do it. You can't. Don wasn't even safe, and we all know he was connected. They still got him.
Oh, I would love if Deontay got mugged right before the fight. I can't. Your king can't do the fight. I was mugged last
That'll
night
be his
in
reason.
Mexico
Yeah.
City.
I had to buy some other gloves because my other ones were stolen.
Stolen, and I had to wear these, and they're 40 pounds apiece. I was tired just walking to the ring. Next quick update: Golovkin Murata pushback due to Omicron. Wow, we're back to current events. This is the first fight that has been postponed specifically because of the latest outbreak. As I was telling someone else, this is bad that we're getting shutdowns based on Omicron. And I kind of suspect that we will see more Omicron. There's no N, so stop saying Omni. That's a magazine from the 80s. Omicron. Are we going to see more, Andrew?
I don't know. Look, there is a cruise ship that's docked right now in Louisiana there's 3,200 guests on that ship. And I guess 10 of them tested positive. So they're not leaving. They're from the Netherlands, I believe. So
Goddamn
it looks
white
like
people.
Looks like it's spreading again. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the pill, Lee. Once they get that pill out here, I think everyone will start to breathe again. So we just need to hope that the FDA passes this pill through like they did the vaccine, and we all go back to work.
Are you guys up in the Bay Area on masks inside?
Of course, yes.
We aren't. San Diego seems to be the only place on the planet that doesn't apply. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Traveling anywhere
really
else.
weird.
I was just in Vegas last week with Miguel. We needed masks everywhere.
I mean, the airlines, they just like up their standards to a 1-day test. It was like, wait a minute, I thought you're supposed to be vaccinated to go have a hamburger in a restaurant, but now you can just fly out of the country and come back and just show a test. What the fuck is going on here?
It's actually, well, we'll get to that when we talk about the Gervonta Davis crowd, which apparently turned into a super spreader event. Miguel, do you suspect, being in a town that's already on the verge of being, you got a test to walk into a casino, and they're very close to that. What's your feedback on this? More fight cancellations?
Well, I mean, this one in particular is, because it was going to be overseas, right, in Japan. I mean, I think, as long as there aren't any other fighters outside of the country that have to fly into the U.S., I don't see this becoming too much of an issue and any more fights being canceled unless one of the fighters end up catching the shit, and then it's another story. Of course, we have ourselves a brand new, pandemic. But no, I don't really see this being like something that's going to cancel too many more fights. Because I mean, really, other than this one being in Japan, I'm not sure right off the top of my head how many other fights are involve fighters that have to fly out from another country. But yeah, I don't really see this being too much of a problem. Like canceling the other fights, I don't think so.
Do you know what they call Omicron in Australia?
I don't, Lee. Please tell me.
Omicron. There you go. Didn't see that show coming, did ya?
What a swerve. What a swerve.
That was a swerve. Dr. Teofimo Lopez, he's lucky to be alive. What? Yeah, apparently he could have died for sure, said Dr. Linda Dahl, not making that name up, an ENT who practices at 3 Manhattan hospitals. He's lucky he's not dead. I mean, really lucky. The air was surrounding his chest wall and heart and his neck, places air is not supposed to be in. If he was to get hit in the neck or chest or a certain way in a certain place at a certain time,
all right, pull his license. I've heard enough.
Same bet channel, same bet.
Yeah, I don't ever want him fighting again.
Yeah, that's fine. So he'll be back next month, I'm sure.
Yeah. I wrote him off yesterday, but yeah, it was serious.
It was serious, right? But yeah, we're ready for like a Rocky quote of, "Hey, why don't I get the fight? Like it's the only thing I know how to do. Because then my daddy won't love me if I don't fight."
You're making me. You telling me I can't be a man?
You telling me I can't be a man?
Hey, is this worse than Holyfield's hole in the heart? Which one's worse?
I don't know.
No.
I
The faith
don't
healer.
know. Well, if he wants to go and find God and it cures him, I guess we're okay.
It's gonna be his dad. He's gonna be like, I got a
My
problem.
dad cured
My
me.
dad cured me. Holy shit.
Oh,
Lomachenko and Pacquiao are somewhere like, damn, drama queens. You couldn't just say his shoulder, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
yeah, right. That's exactly what they're both saying. That's exactly what they're saying. Everybody in boxing knows, and I'm going to say it because maybe you're new to boxing and you're a casual fan. If you fight someone, and I would say wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, and boxing, when you lose, I threw my shoulder out on the way into the ring. If you notice, I bumped into the ring when I was coming in, and I tore my shoulder out. I tore my ACL. I'm going to take some time off and get it repaired. Don't worry about the positive, steroid tests that I'm about to have either. Everything will be cool. What a douche. All right. And last
now,
yeah.
But wait.
Yeah.
We have to remember that we caught Lopez, I believe, in the Lomachenko fight, doing the breath inhaler in the side. Do any of you guys remember that when ESPN was in his locker room? It looked real suspicious, but someone had him in the corner, and you could
it's
tell
always
he was
good to do
taking
steroids right before a fight, Andrew. I don't know if this is your first time.
The little the asthma medicine.
The inhaler, no?
Yeah, and there's steroids. There's steroids in that. I don't know of any asthma inhaler that isn't steroids. I don't know. All right, and our last quick update story so you guys can talk to people about boxing. I guess you might know somebody that you talk to about boxing on a day. Andrew does. As for the rest of the world, Miguel, outside of your dad, do you ever get to talk boxing?
Rarely.
Right.
It does happen. I mean,
Yeah.
when I have a coworker, my buddy Martin. He's the one that watches fights every so often. So I'll chit chat with him on the rare occasion, But really, as far as that goes, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I question this for anybody who listens to the show. I still think we're like still an insider show, even though I've tried to make this a little more casual to listeners. But and I've got Killian. Even Killian's a little too advanced to consider like a real box. Like I just don't talk right. Like Andrew's the only guy I know that's willing to talk to regular boxing people on a daily basis. You're a good dude, Andrew. I don't know how you do that. They must tell you crazy shit and you've got to correct them every single time.
Yeah, a lot of questions are asked. Yes.
Did you hear about Francis Ngannou fighting Tyson Fury? What? Yeah, it's all over the news. No, Ngannou's fighting on a pay-per-view card in January, and Tyson Fury's just never mind. Like I don't know how. Like, and I get it. Even like, I'll tell you where I get it the most. I'll be in an Uber in Vegas, and they'll go, "Why are you in town?" They always try to make chit chat because it gets them more of a tip. I'm in town covering the fight. Oh, you like boxing? I like boxing too. I know all about it. That's all I listen to. Okay, cool, Rain Man. And then Rain Man will then fire off what he thinks because somebody got in his car and told him what he thinks. The most out. Well, yeah, he trains in town, and I gave his second brother's uncle a ride the other day, and he's not in shape for that fight. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to win that fight. Okay, dude, listen. The dude he's fighting would have to fight up physically dead, like pushed out on a stretcher for him to lose the fight. Do you understand that? No, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a huge upset. Okay. I don't know why I try every single time. You're a good dude, Andrew. I swear to God. I can barely do it with people who have casual knowledge of boxing. I know all about fighting. Okay. I had a discussion on Saturday night. I shit you not. You ready? MMA. I like it. This is why I like MMA. Well, yeah, UFC is MMA. No, I mean MMA. It's a person I like. And they might actually watch this right now. And I'm going to say it's not that it upset me. It's the fact that somebody told you that MMA was different than UFC. It wasn't your fault. It's the person who told you that MMA was different than UFC. But I digress. Here's one for everyone. Tommy Fury withdraws. Look at his list of injuries. I got a broken rib, bacterial chest infection. Oh, and I tore my rotator cuff. No, that's a joke. But he went deep on why he's not going to do the fight. I am absolutely heartbroken that I have been forced to withdraw from the fight with Jake Paul due to a bacterial chest infection and a broken rib. Either one would have been enough to get out of the fight. So I'm going to go with, so you really didn't train for the fight, and you believe your dad and brother that if you lose this fight, they're going to disown you. I'm just reading between the lines. I could be completely wrong. So I'll turn to my expert of both MMA and boxing, Miguel Antonio Barragan. And stunt fights, because Andrew doesn't like to talk about stunt fights. Miguel, it's pretty strong. I mean, look, if I knew that my family was going to disown me if I lost a fight to I'm really not one to speak. My family was going to disown me for fighting Danny. So I understand the vibe. And let me tell you straight up, he's not wrong. Your family will disown you for doing stupid stunt fights. Mine did. My mom actually kissed and thanked Danny for not killing me. And I didn't know that was a real thing in her mind, that could have really have happened. Andrew was there. Trust me when I say this, that wasn't a thing. But I'll start with you, Miguel. Are you buying any of his bullshit?
I mean, I always try to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, what's all that shit they said? Like, how many fucking issues was he talking about here? It's like a goddamn, laundry list of the problems.
Two serious ones. I mean, a bacterial infection by itself in your chest, that's pretty serious. But you're going to toss in a broken rib? Yeah. Does that mean you would have taken the fight if you only had one of these?
Yeah, and I remember specifically, like, at some time ago when this fight was signed, that Tyson Fury was like, "Oh yeah, my brother, he'll have a broken hand, he'll do this, he'll that, he'll still show up for the fight." So much for that, because it's not going to happen. But yeah, maybe one or two of these things are like legit. I think he just threw in the rest to make the fucking laundry list look worse. But I mean, it's going to look bad for everybody, including boxing, if he goes in there and gets his ass handed to him. I realize that he's not a legitimate boxer, but he's the next best thing to a retired mixed martial artist. So him losing to someone like Jake Paul is going to look bad, and I'm pretty sure it didn't help that all the pressure was on him by his family. I mean, aren't they even like half brothers, right? Tyson and this dude.
I don't know. This is definitely like the better looking Fury of the Furies.
The physical specimen of a fucking
Which
Fury,
means that the dad clearly banged a better one the second time. I mean, I'm just going to go. The mom has got to be gorgeous based on that fucking family tree. But I digress. Andrew, are you buying this bullshit? It's our newest game show.
Listen,
do you buy the bullshit?
I think when he walked up to his dad and brother and was like, I hurt my rib, and they were probably like, "You doctor, you're gonna quit because of one injury?" No, I got an infection too. Yeah. There's an infection too, so it's a broken rib and an infection. They're like, whatever. Listen, he wasn't gonna make money for nothing. We talked about that. We seen Tyson was beating the shit out of his younger brother with that medicine ball. It was Tyson Fury probably broke his rib. Dead serious. We seen it. Go if you haven't seen it, go look up the video of Fury working his brother's abs out with the medicine ball. But he's the one beating the hell out of his ribs. So Tyson was putting him through it. He was trying to make a man out of him, and his brother folded. That's what I'm going to say happened without having any evidence. That's what I'm going to say happened. This wasn't going to be one of Tommy's. I told you, if you guys watched his fights, man, this guy was an ugly fighter. He's about as ugly as the Paul brothers. Wild, falling over his punches, no balance. And Tyson wasn't going to go for that shit. He's going to tell you, you're going to train how I train, and his brother folded.
Send his ass to Kronk's gym where he got a bacterial infection. So what we're really saying is the Kronk gym is full of bacteria.
No, I'm not saying that at
That's
all.
what Andrew Labouche is saying on Fight Net Radio right now.
Yeah,
send your complaints there.
That was just Tyson was just working him over, and it did break him. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. The last of the audio exclusive, before we do our video section for the fight as well, I'm going to do one final joke, Pulp Fiction style, with Miguel as my help. We're going to do Miguel.
Yes.
You're never going to believe what they got going on in Australia. Do you know what they call fish and chips down in Australia?
Fish and chips. I don't know.
Fish and chips. It's a
Oh.
callback to another joke. That's all the Australian jokes that I have for the audio portion of this program. We now turn. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan, bringing you the results of this weekend's fights. I am joined by two esteemed experts. If you're listening to the audio, go watch the video. If you're just watching the video, we just did an hour and a half of every news story, and it was amazing and hilarious. I cannot stress enough, watching this week's episode, Andy Ruiz needs BBC. You'll get it once you go and watch it. If you don't, and you just find it offensive, enjoy our review of this weekend's fights and get yourself up to date. Go to boxingtonight.io, jump off on our Facebook or YouTube link, and you can follow us however you're watching this. All right, gentlemen, let's get to it. This past weekend, we had a couple of nights of fighting. Let's start on the night of Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. As always, Miguel, you tend to watch all of the fight card like a lunatic. So let's start with the undercard. And I'm going to ask this week, Andrew, did you, I'm not even recording the video portion of this in high def. Here's a review of this week's fights. Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan, Lee Honish, we're all here. We're here to bring you the official scorecards and updates of this weekend's fights. Go check out the audio portion. The poor people who are listening to audio right now are so mad because I probably didn't do any audio editing whatsoever. So we'll start with the night of Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. Joseph Diaz took on Devin Haney in Las Vegas. Miguel is our expert on watching the prelims. How were the prelims for Haney-Diaz card?
They were pretty lame. I mean, they weren't really eventful. I mean, there was. I'm trying to remember who was on there. That's how lame it was that I didn't remember who the hell was on the prelims.
Neither do I.
It was like I was watching it kind of in the background.
We'll just skip.
Yeah, because they were uneventful.
We just jumped to the main event, which no, it was hard. Actually,
it's
the
background
UFC.
stuff.
Well, and here's the thing: the UFC actually had a decent fight night card, which does not help when they have a good fight night card going at the same time, and there's a shitty Haney Diaz DAZN, whatever the hell that thing was for the undercard, which takes us to the main event. We all watched it. Devin Haney took on Jojo Diaz. Everybody tried to sell this as a real fight. Not really my impression. Wasn't much of a fight at all. Jojo Diaz, who was touted as coming in as being big and tough and strong, and wasn't that far off odds-wise, but still, he certainly didn't fight to the same caliber that the odds had him at. I'll start with you, Andrew Labouche. What did you think of Haney Diaz?
Well, I thought, I got to disagree, Lee. I thought it was actually a good fight. Me and Miguel had been saying for weeks that Jojo was going to be the toughest fight of Haney's young career. And for the most part, it was a good, tough fight for Haney. I came away from this fight with more questions about Devin Haney than I did answers. And that to me shows that Diaz was there the whole night. This wasn't a pushover. Look, when me and I'm going to speak for you right now, Miguel, I'm going to speak for you right now. When me and Miguel talked about it, we kept saying this fight was going to be as good as long as it lasted. If you guys kept hearing, that was a common phrase coming out of us. I think Lee asked us 4 weeks in a row what we thought about this fight. And we kept saying it's as good as long as it lasted. Well, let me tell you, around round 7 or 8, I really didn't expect Jojo Diaz to still be in that fight. Not only did I think Devin was going to stop him on pure accuracy and just, youth and just being a better fighter. Just like this guy is, they describe him as the next Floyd Mayweather. I was expecting a lot more from Devin Haney. So right off the bat, his offense is great. Speed is great. Power, question mark. The second big question mark I had coming out for this was his defense. Look, a lot of these guys like playing the Floyd shoulder roll, going to keep my hands down at my waist. You got to have reflexes, man. JoJo Diaz kept hitting Devin Haney with the left hand all night long. And this wasn't just he was just brushing him, he was just barely hit. He had Devin Haney's eyes looking at the lights numerous times. Aaron Pryor versus what's the Hawk?
Arguello.
Yes, Aguero. Yes. I said the wrong nickname, didn't I? Yeah, Pryor Aguero. Yes. It was that type of fight, man, where it was just like how you would. I started thinking JoJo was gonna at least start breaking Haney down at the end here. He was hitting him so many times with the straight left. I was zooming in on Haney. You know, when the fight was over, I was really trying to pay attention to Haney's right eye to see if there was some kind of scarring there that I had just missed. His eye looks fine. The side of his face looks fine. Why was he getting hit so much on this night? So, no, this was a big letdown, in my opinion, a letdown as far as
He
stop
coasted.
with the Haney.
He
Haney's
coasted.
the next Floyd.
Haney
Yeah. No, he
coasted. The rounds
Nah,
he lost
nah.
were coast rounds.
didn't. Nah, it was
He
a good.
took
It was a
rounds
better
off.
fight than that, Lee.
That's not the fight. I had it 117, 111. I didn't. The rounds he lost are just because of inactivity.
Winning rounds sometimes doesn't justify the action that's being put in the ring. Yeah, okay, so JoJo wasn't winning every round. He was still touching Devin Haney way too much, especially getting late into that fight where
what
I
we
would've
stated
thought
many times on the show
Haney
is
would've
that
pulled
Haney
away.
actually sucks, and that's what JoJo exposed. I mean, Haney's a weak fighter. I never understood why Tommy Hearns picked him up as, the second coming of God. I don't
Floyd.
understand why
No,
he got
Floyd.
a contract.
Yeah, he needed his piece of the lightweights. I mean, at the time, Lomachenko was the man, and Teofimo was coming up and whatnot, so he needed to have a piece of the lightweights too. I'm sure he wanted a piece of that.
No doubt. What
Yeah.
did you think of the fight, Miguel? Settle the argument.
Well, I certainly don't think that Haney coasted. I mean, the rounds that Diaz won, with the few that there were, that he earned them. Like, he absolutely earned them. There was a couple of times where me and my pops were basically losing our shit over why Diaz wasn't more active.
'Cause he sucks.
What what Andrew was saying earlier about questioning Haney's power. We were like, okay, hold up. It didn't look like Haney was able to hurt Diaz, so fucking keep going, keep marching, walk him down. You can take his power. Maybe once or twice it looked like Joseph was momentarily, like shaken, but it was very mild, and it looked like Diaz basically kept his bearings fine. But it's just like, dude, you can't just like have these long periods of inactivity and let Haney, throw these jabs or whatnot. I don't know if it was the fact that Diaz was southpaw, but that left hand was connecting. It was the lead right down the pipe. A couple of times he was winging him over, right, doing the left hook, and it landed. As wide as the shit was, it landed on Haney. It's like, all right, Haney probably shouldn't have taken that shot. There should have been a reason for him to like move out of the way. There's no point in him taking that shot other than Jim just trying to basically plant his feet and take it and just be like, all right, I'm gonna take this left hook for no fucking reason. I was pissed that Diaz didn't open up with that left hand a lot more. The straight left, the lead left, even if it wasn't super hard, it was scoring. So even though ultimately the judges was like, or the scores was super, to Danny's favor, it felt like definitely was a lot closer. Each round felt like it was a lot closer because, although Diaz did have those periods of inactivity, he did what he could. He did what he could, and you can't. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on with Diaz. We were expecting. I mean, I don't want to say I was disappointed in Diaz, but I was expecting a lot more, especially considering how Haney's power was. I was like, wait a second, this is and when Haney fought Linares, I was like, all right, Linares is that legend, that guy he's gonna have on his record, right? I thought, okay, this is kind of sort of the semi-passing of the torch here, even though it already happened with Loma. But I'm talking about here's creating the new star. Okay, that's understandable. He beat Linares. This fight, I was expecting to be like, holy shit, this is gonna be Haney's kind of a rival. Like, you know what, Joseph is no pushover. He's a young cat. He's not a guy on the way out, anything like that. A former champion. All right, cool. This is gonna be his rival. And it didn't feel that way. It did not feel that way after the fight. I was like, I don't know. Unfortunately, I was kind of like left with a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, man, this is kind of underwhelming. Number one, from Haney, because I thought he was a lot more of a power puncher, and I thought this was going to be his thing. And even Diaz was like, all right, I was expecting Diaz to come out here, guns blazing. It did take him a couple of rounds. By round 3 or 4, 4 or 5 is when he started really, opening up. But even still, it just felt like it wasn't enough. He gave away a couple of those early rounds, which I didn't like, but I don't know. It was deflating when I saw this fight. I was like, man, I was expecting more out of both these guys. Nonetheless, the fight was still good, and I have watched it a couple of times since then. It hasn't changed my opinion. I still feel that Haney won. But I mean, yeah, I thought this was going to be like, more than it actually was, I guess.
All right.
You can tell it was a letdown at the end of the fight when DAZN totally brushes over, won the victory of Devin Haney. They don't acknowledge it at all. They're like, yeah, it was a good fight. Here's Kambosos. Oh, look at over here.
Yeah.
Joy, the lightweight king is here. Pete, like, oh my God. It was
it's
dude,
like, now that we
Devin's
got
just
this over with. Yeah, now that we got this over with. Go ahead, bring Kambosos in.
Devin was just standing there with like you could see his jaw was kind of open. Like, are you serious right now? And then Kambosos is like, hey, look, I don't want to take nothing away. I seen holes in his offense, but yeah, nothing. No disrespect. You could come to Australia. It was bad. Like, Haney walks off. He doesn't shake anyone's hand. No, he clearly had a chance to outshine George Kambosos. He failed. Kambosos is the lightweight king. And at least on this night, then we go into Sunday. But on this night, Devin Haney did not outshine Kambosos at DAZN, and DAZN kind of proved it by
or anybody else in
right.
that weight division, I might add.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He didn't exactly give up his spot per se, but it didn't exactly,
he didn't move forward. He's still in the rankings.
Yeah, no,
where
the needle
he is.
didn't move.
Yeah,
and we'll cover all that in a second because we got to talk about the other end of that division, which I'm gonna say it. Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz as a fight card. As a headlining fight, it's going to pain me to say it, and I'm hoping I can get it out of Andrew. It was entertaining. Some of the fights on the undercard were entertaining. The main event was completely entertaining. At no point did I ever think that Isaac Cruz have a chance to win this thing at all. Okay, to be perfectly honest. And if you don't know, Gervonta Davis won by unanimous decision. That's not here nor there. This is the other end of the spectrum. I think Tank, who then claimed his hand was broken in the first round or the second round, he did, basically had to go full Rocky Balboa here and like gut out and be a man. And even with a jacked up hand, which certainly looked jacked up after the fight, he had to gut out and pull this. Isaac wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't hard to find either. He was head down, face first into the ring, and came at him every round to the point where Gervonta actually had to change the way he fought him for the second half of the fight. I actually grew in liking Gervonta Davis a little more from this fight. And no, nobody on the staff, by the way, paid for this, nor do I think that they're going to get 25,000 pay-per-views for this as a pay-per-view. But as someone who illegally streamed it, I wasn't sad on Sunday night at all. I'll start this time. Let's talk about the undercard. First of all, we got to see Sebastian Fondura, which I just want to see him get knocked out at this point. I don't even want him to move forward. I just want to see. I'm now watching him to watch him get knocked out because his thin little tiny spider legs don't look very solid. And let's start right there. I don't know when you jumped in on the fight card, Andrew. Did you get to see Fondura?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Lee. Listen, what I don't like about Fondura is they're already trying to work him into a title shot at 154. No, he doesn't deserve it. He's fought nobody. No, I didn't like the fight at all. Look, the guy that Spanish cat, Did that guy not look surprised that he was undefeated on his fight pick? It was hella funny when they showed his picture. He's got like this, I'm 33-0. He had this type of look on his face, like fucking totally planted. No, I didn't like it at all. I'm not a Fundura fan. I don't want to see him versus.
I'm not a
any of the
Fundura
Charlos.
fan either. I just want to see him get knocked out. That's all. I know
but
it's
you
gonna
understand
happen.
that because you're saying that. Al Heyman gets to put, that's, oh, look, it's working. Or see, all you gotta do is stay undefeated, listen to me, and you'll get a fucking pay-per-view title shot with Charlo. Nah, fuck him. That fight was garbage. He's garbage. No. I don't want to see it at all.
Miguel, did you enjoy anything on the undercard? That was my enjoyment of the undercard.
The Derevyanchenko and Adames fight was pretty.
That wasn't bad.
entertaining.
You
That-
mean
that wasn't bad.
Technicock?
Yeah. yeah.
Am I the only one who looked at his shorts? It's Technicon, but at one point it looked like the end got squished, and I swear to God, I looked at it and went, his trunks say Technicock. What? And they have to shorten his name because apparently they can't pay to put Derevyanchenko all the way around on their backs of the jerseys.
Yeah.
So he's just Derevino. And he's Technicock.
Hey, it costs for every letter, Lee. Better watch.
I guess,
Yeah.
those were, that looked like stitching. So yeah, I bet it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like after this after the seventh letter, it's like we got to start charging a double for everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone
Derevyanchenko pulls a big L, as I
Hey,
recall.
you know what I was thinking though, you guys, for that one? Because that fight was entertaining, and it looked like Derevyanchenko was gonna pull it out at the end, or at least had moments. I was telling Chris, he's not a PBC guy. That's why he's
That's
giving it
right.
his all. This is not a PBC grown fighter here, but yeah, he ended up. losing
Hashtag
anyways.
MTK for life. What'd you see, Miguel?
All right. So about the main event, you mean, right?
Any of them.
Well, I mean the Fundura guy. I mean he's I don't know. I kind of feel like he's like a spectacle to watch. He's the Andre the Giant. He steps at the ring. You're like, oh shit, what the hell?
No,
But then
he's
once
not.
he's-
You know who
but-
he's
but
like?
then once
He's
he-
like who's the Mexican the El Gigante. He's
Oh
El
yeah.
Gigante.
Yes.
He's not
and-
even good enough to
right.
be Andre the
There
Giant.
you go.
That's insulting.
Because Andre
He's
can work in
the
the ring.
giant. This is El Gigante.
Yes,
in a
this is the El
parachute.
Gigante, the Giant Gonzalez dude. This is him
Giant
basically.
Gonzalez.
Right? That's who it is, dude. Because once the bell rings, that's it. Like the
Oh
show's
my
over,
God.
you know what I'm saying?
He's got to come to the ring as Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's got to have the costume with the hair and everything. Like that's how it's gonna have to be. Because I mean, like he could throw down. I'm not gonna say he can, right? Is entertaining to some degree, but after a while, you're like, dude, you have no pop. You're not using your height. You're not using your reach. It's like I was thinking when I first saw this, when I started watching the fight, and the other dude, Garcia, I think his last name is, he was like, trying to reach Sebastian Fundura's face. It's like, bro, forget about his fucking face. It's hard as fuck to reach. Your arms are gonna get
Punch
tired
him in the
punching at him.
knee.
Yeah.
Punch
him
what's
the-
right in front of you, for
whatever.
God's sakes.
Yes, his chest, his elbows, whatever,
He's
man.
5'5" for
God's
God's sakes.
And-
There's other
and
parts
still-
of the body.
Yeah, and still he was able to reach him and still bloodied Fundura's face. Like, what the hell is Fundura doing wrong? He's still very young and very green, and you can tell, the fact, when I saw that, I was like, 12 rounds? He's going 12 rounds? What the shit? This is scheduled for 12 rounds? I didn't think Fundura was ready for that, but
It was an
whatever.
eliminator, all important.
yeah.
They kept
Yeah.
saying it. The all important WBC eliminator.
Yeah.
So garbage.
They made a big deal out of that, so I'm just like, okay, this is I don't know. I mean, it was uneventful. The fight was. It was all right, like there was some blood. All right, cool. That definitely spices things up a little bit. But I mean, I was more entertained with the Derevyanchenko Adames fight, honestly.
Adames, yeah,
yeah.
that was. Shout out to Adames, man. Fucking nut up.
Yeah.
That's a big win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
That-
that was the one that I was more
Well,
entertained
probably not. I know this because I pulled our stories. Barely got any run. You know why?
with.
Because he's a nobody. It's like the Otto Wallen story. You just went
Uh.
12 rounds with Tyson Fury and cut him to shreds. What are you going to do with that? Oh, we're going to be the champion of our local rec room. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Way to go, guys. Same thing with Adames. What are you going to do with that big win? Be the champion of my rec room. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be city champion. Okay. Nobody. I feel bad for PBC era, if you're not Top Rank, if you're not, same thing I said in that interview. If you're not PBC, if you're not Top Rank, I'll certainly Matchroom. But look, let's even go really low key, right? Let's say you're not even Golden Boy, for God's sakes. I mean, it would be exciting because then they'd have a fighter, but you're not going to get the shot at big money. as an independent outside guy. You're just not. I mean, even the MTK in their formula for their guys, they just leave them in Europe because they know they'll just it's just a constant pipeline of money at the low level with MTK fighters. They get them to 30-0. They ship them off to Bob or to Eddie Hearn and put these 30-0 monstrosities in front of the next guy, let them fight for a green card. And the wheel of life just keeps going round and round in boxing. And that's kind of what we have with these undercards. Like, it's a bunch of guys that Adames falls into that category. I mean, he should be a big thing. You took out Derevyanchenko. That's dude's been in championship fights. That's the real deal there, kid. Good job. I guarantee we're never going to hear from this fucking guy again. That's tragedy. And then it falls silent on the room because Lee talked boxing for far too long again and made sense. I apologize for those video, which takes us to our main event of the evening, covered by only one announcer, no color guy, and Jim Gray asking bizarre and insane questions after the fight, who I'm convinced is just popping, THC pills before he goes into the ring. What a wild fight that was. Woo! I saw colors during that fight. Yeah, Jim Gray is losing his shit on national TV. At the beginning, I feel like when we were first watching this, they actually had Al Bernstein doing color for the first fight, and then he disappeared on the second fight, Miguel. I'm clear that Al Bernstein was on at some point, and then he just disappeared during the telecast. Like, Al Heyman made a phone call and had him whacked for something he must have said, which is the most fascinating thing. So we were stuck with, what's his name, Ray or Ed or whatever the fuck that dude's name is, and his constant PBC blowjob. He's probably going to lose his job because he put over Isaac a couple of times during that fight on the telecast. I thought way too much, because it was inspiring to watch Isaac, who was way out of his depth on no preparation time. And I'm going to believe Gervonta Davis hurt his hand in that first round, which means he went real deep water against a dude who wanted it really bad. It's kind of a defining fight. A lot of shit came out of this one fight. Now that I know about the hurt hand, if the hand is not legit, then Gervonta Davis is the biggest piece of crap walking the planet. He didn't train, and Camboso should sign it as quick as he can. If his hand was hurt, like he said it was, or slightly broken, and he gutted out that win with a unanimous decision, fucking what a beast. I'll start with you, Andrew. I mean, we have two realities here. Was his hand hurt or was his hand not hurt, right? If his hand was hurt, Gervonta Davis is a stud, and I got to stop fucking bashing on him. I do. That's the bottom line. Because Isaac Cruz showed up to fucking Isaac. It keeps Isaac. Miguel.
Yeah, Isaac.
Isaac?
Yep.
Okay. Isaac, which is really Isaac, right? I'm not losing my
I know. That was weird.
Yeah, look. Let's not get into it. We just did Machuchu and Wababu for an hour on this show. Least we can do is Isaac, because the dude... It was kind of inspirational, even to watch him being pranced around the ring after the fight, and the fans going, "Fuck yeah, dude! At least you showed up and gave it your all." He did.
Yeah, have you ever seen a little boy last 12 rounds with a grown ass man? Because that's what it looked like. I mean, come on, Isaac Cruz was fucking 5 foot nothing in that ring.
Oh yeah,
was
one weight
at
class
air.
smaller, no doubt.
Yeah, he's punching at the air. I mean, it was bad. You got he didn't land enough. I wanted him to throw more punches, especially at the end. It looked like the body work started working for him. It was slowing Gervonta down, but the young man just doesn't throw enough punches. Now, I don't know if it's because he was getting countered with, by Gervonta Davis, a very good counter puncher, or he was just tired, but no, I didn't think this fight was close. First off, I had Gervonta easily winning this fight at the end. But I wasn't impressed for the simple fact that, a true lightweight. No, this kid was not a true lightweight. This guy doesn't look like Ryan Garcia or Telefimo Lopez or Cambosos, or Haney. He doesn't look like any. He's smaller. He throws nothing but hooks. His punches, the angles that he throws them at are really awkward. Like he would land a flusher punch if he would throw him from a correct, just the angles that he was choosing to throw that right hand from. It just seemed like he was always out of place. So yeah, a lot of heart. Mike Tyson, right? All the head bobbing and the high guard. That was all great. Chin, great. He lacks power, though. He lacks boxing skill. No, I don't see him going far in this division. Right now, Cambosos is top dog, in my opinion. But still, Teofimo Lopez, look, because they had such a classic war, and now the doctors are saying that Teofimo is basically dying the night of the fight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put that in there. But Lopez, it's Cambosos, Lopez, Lomachenko, and the fucking rest.
Yeah, you know what?
We're
this is a bait for anybody watching our video review. All you watching the video, you're gonna hear Miguel's comments, and obviously I enjoy different fights than these two guys. So whatever. Right after we turn this video off, go to boxingtonight.io. Right after Miguel's comments, there's bonus audio right after. We're going to talk about Andrew's top lightweight list for the last 5 minutes.
No, we're not. No, we're not. I just gave you my top, and I gotta go. No, I'm giving it to you right now, dude.
All right, Miguel, what are your comments? Because Andrew's doing his I gotta go. The kids are going to kill me, which is kind of true.
I got to eat dinner.
Well, all right, fine. Be a man. Suck it up. Miguel, what do you got? Tell me about that fight.
So shout out to VIP Box. You guys did great. But a couple of times it froze on me, so I kind of missed a round and a half. So that kind of fucked up my scorecard. But I did have it a lot closer than what the scores came. Oh, actually, the scores were pretty cool. Like mine score was pretty close to what it was. I did have Gervonta winning just because it felt like Cruz wasn't as active. If you look at both these guys' faces, apparently either these guys just don't have power or they're missing a lot of shots because these guys came out with clean fucking faces on both ends, right? So it shows. I mean, maybe
it's second PBC fight in a row. Second PBC fight in a row. Go ahead.
So then, I give a ton. Maybe it's just a comparative type of thing, but I give a ton of credit to Cruz. I think the second Tank opponent who hasn't been knocked the fuck out. Tank has basically been running through everybody, and he finds this dude and he can't do it. So whatever style this was, it could have been a styles type of thing that Cruz brought to the table that was a little bit different, that made it difficult for Gervonta, or it could be that it was more of a last minute opponent, opponent switch. Maybe it was that. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it says a lot about Cruz that he went in there willing to take the fight, coming forward the majority of the fight, trying to make it dirty, trying to make it a brawl. And some of the punches, Gervonta's best punch is that uppercut, right? There were a couple of times where he landed it, but there were a few times where he landed on the glove. It was like Cruz was ready for it. He studied him, and that's top props. And there were a lot of times where I wanted to give the round to Gervonta because, like, all right, he landed the better punches, but he just ran too fucking much. Man, damn it, he ran too fucking much. He did a lot of the clinching. It was basically, Pacquiao and Mayweather.
I think you guys are passing on this right hand thing if it's legit.
Well, here's the thing. There was a point where he fell, right? Where he fell to the canvas, he got tripped or something, and he was doing this kind of tripod thing on both of his hands. Yeah,
he was breakdancing,
and that was like later on in the fight. I think he says he messed up his hand in the fourth or something like that, or the fifth. It's like, bro, what the fuck? So I to some degree, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm sure he hurt his hand somehow, maybe, because there's been a couple of times where, like, if you watch the replays, where he throws a punch and he gets blocked, and I'm like, oh shit, that looked like it hurt his own hand because that punch got fucking blocked. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was, but to say that's the only fucking reason, bro, you're over here fucking breakdancing like it's 1980. Come on, fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much I believe that excuse, but yeah, of course, yeah, it's gonna have a messed up hand, but to that extent, I don't know.
And one thing that took the fight away from me was the lack of inactivity for Cruz at the end. Look, Lee, we knew he was down on. He was down on the scorecards. Everyone knows it. This is a Gervonta Davis pay-per-view. Floyd and Al are all behind Davis. You got to take it to him. I'm a big fan of you. I love you. Got to take it to him. So he left a lot on the table, a lot of money on the table last night by not going forward. And Maybe you get stopped. Maybe you get dropped. It doesn't matter. He could have still made at least went after it. And I think that's why I started losing my excitement or whatever. It was like, God damn it, this kid isn't fighting enough. And Gervonta's not doing anything. You got to, when he hugs you, you got to punch through it. You can't hug back. You can't look at the ref. You can't let seconds go by of the champ not hitting you and you're not hitting him. And he did way too much of that last night. And I think that's why, Miguel, I was never scared of the scorecards. I mean, you can make it a 1-point victory for Gervonta. I knew he was winning the fight all the way through because the kid just wasn't active enough. When he punched, yeah, he missed some, but he landed a lot too. He landed a lot of clean shots last night. It just wasn't enough. And to me, he was just too short. I'm sorry, that true lightweight, I don't agree with that at all. Listen, the best lightweight in the world is Kambosos, and I think the what might be the best prospect still, which is sad, might be Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia seems like he has the it factor when it comes to boxing, speed, power, everything. It's his mind that might make him the weakest out of this bunch. They need to get Ryan Garcia mentally prepared for this sport. They need to see if he's right. And I don't see any of these. Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia could fight any of these guys. Let's get this thing rolling here. No more warm-up fights. No more tune-ups. Kambosos is ready to fight Devin Haney. Let's get Gervonta and Ryan Garcia back negotiating, back up and going, and get this thing going. But it's a great division, but nobody in the last 2 weeks surpassed what Lopez and Kambosos gave us 3 weeks ago.
Bam, 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 bam. What a good out. Go to boxingtonight.io. You can watch the full video. You can listen to the full audio. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't really care, but there's lots of different ways to listen to it. Go to boxingtonight.io, not .com, .io. Follow Miguel and I and Andrew on all the different media platforms. He's at Fight Fiend Migs. He just released some training videos last week onto all the pages, so that's really good. Also, a complete up-to-date boxing schedule for the month of December is available at that website, completely up to date. And of course, news that isn't mainstream news, because I'm crazy like that and make stuff like that.